Well, then plus I feel like it's out of order. It's not like
I was wondering why wrong.
yeah.
I like that.
That was just a start.
Yeah.
That's usually over here. I know, well, Mary was over here, so I sat over there. I'm like confused now.
I was there, that right here.
I'm not sure about that.
This is my view.
We don't all have issues, huh?
Would you like to get somebody to put in here?
Wait, his name is Dylan?
Jared Stady there. Jared's not here.
He doesn't sit there.
That's such a weird, like,
I sleep on the left side of the bed.
You just figured
yeah, no,
out.
obviously. Well, like, you know, you took college on the first day.
I know.
But not down there.
What?
Yeah, right?
Everybody goes on the first day. Entire college career. I don't know.
You want me to come down here?
Oh, you're just saying like.
I know it does.
I know.
Yeah, we always sit. Good evening, everyone. Whenever the same thing.
Would you all please stand and join me in the pledge of allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you for coming. The first order of business this evening is the action on minutes. To see what action the board wishes to take regarding approval of the minutes for the meetings held on May 4th, 2026. Do I have a motion?
Make motion.
Thank you, Destiny. Second? You second? Yep. Thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of approval of the minutes for the meeting held on May 4th, 2026?
I wasn't there.
And motion passes. Next on the agenda, we have citizen comments. Is there anyone here from the public that wishes to speak this evening? Tim?
Thank you. Tim O'Connor, 326 Vernon Street. Been a district employee for many, many years. Tomorrow will be marking the end of my 39th year. So tonight, I wanted to end my career by doing several different things. Many people who have retired prior to me have ended their career and they've been bitter or upset. I'm not that way. I told Mark I was going to hire a band and bring it here, and I was going to sing, take this job and shove it. I don't work here anymore, but I'm not going to do that. So I just figured I'd make you laugh. It makes me feel better anyway. Couple of things. I went to school at the University of Southern Maine and graduated in 1987. Way back when all the jobs were advertised through the paper, and I was away. The weekend, it was brought to my attention from where I did my student teaching at Socrates Valley that the job was open. And I was asked if I would come and interview for the job. When I got here, the superintendent was Dwayne Craig. The principal was Ted Davis. Carol Higgins was the vice principal, and David Tripp was the graphic arts teacher. And they brought me into now the middle school office, and that's where I interviewed for the job. Since I've been here at this job, I was 22 years old, pretty green. David Tripp pulled me in and shared budget information with me and financial information and how to deal with students and all that good stuff. I've survived many superintendents. It was Dwayne Craig, and then it was Ron Jenkins, it was Kent Rosberg, Kent Webster, David Murphy, and Mark Kenny. The people on the board, I've taught with at least 2 of you, and I've had, I think, several people as students. I've had the opportunity to teach wood technology, metal technology, intro to material processing, fine arts carving, engineering tech, building construction, CAD drafting, photography, and robotics. So quite an array of subjects that I was able to teach. So for me, it was definitely an honor to be able to teach all those different things and be involved in all the different kids' lives, being able to share all that stuff. Also, I was a homeroom teacher. I've been part of all the mentor programs that we've had, including the most recent 7 Peaks, which is awesome, worked with all the seniors. But we called it Stretch, and we've called it all kinds of different mentoring programs that we've had and shared with kids over the years. I've also been able to coach. I coached high school JV baseball, high school JV basketball when I first got here, and then I coached middle school baseball for 39 years. Just finished my last season. So I just want to thank everybody.
Can you elaborate a little bit on the fishing trips when you first arrived here? Fishing trips and you get down here?
The ones that come to mind, Mr. Brown, are that I caught all the fish and that you always wanted to catch all the fish.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you for everything that you've done for the district. Is there anyone else here from the public that wishes to speak this evening? We will move on to board member comments. Are there any board members that wish to speak
I'd like to make point out, and it affects our, I think it affects our schools, the Bethel Town Meeting, 88-42 vote, they voted to end funding for the dedicated deputy we have in town, so we always have one cop on duty, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, year round. $695,000 annual cost. The bulk of the people said no, they don't want it. It was well discussed, had fair discussion, but what I want to focus on is the school district, school board. Mark Kenny is aware of the role the cops play, so maybe you should speak out at some point, Mark, or be ready to speak out. I know they're going to meet Wednesday night, the selectmen are going to talk about the interface with Public Works, fire, rescue, and there's a loss here. We're losing more than just the metrics of numbers of calls and seriousness of calls. So there's a lot of sitting around, but it's better to have a guy on duty than not. Better for our schools, and so that's my plug, and as it ties into our board work here. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Are there any other board members that would like to speak this evening?
Last week at school, we had, anyway, the freshman TFA team went down and did their end of the year culminating project and trip, which is the 3-day canoe trip out of Richardson Lake, and they do all practice all the skills that we learned from survival to camping, group work, canoeing, and had awesome weather. It was an awesome trip, and yeah. Yeah, they got super lucky.
Any other comments from the board members? Seeing none, I'll move on to the chairman's report. I'd like to congratulate our returning board members on their re-election. Brian, Jared, who's not present, both of our Stephanies from Destiny. Thank you for all that you do for the board and continuing to serve the district. And as you all know, our budget for next year has passed. So a big thank you again to the Finance Committee and Mr. Kenny for all the time spent and the work put into that process, and for the board, the full board, for supporting us all the while and really investing yourself in that process. And then also to the community for approving the budget. I'm grateful for your continued trust and engagement and support. I was fortunate enough to attend the Telstar High School graduation almost 2 weeks ago now, and it was a pleasure. It was a beautiful ceremony, and it really, I won't say too much, I know Mark plans on speaking to it, but we have a lot to be proud of. There were some incredible humans that were graduating, not just students, but some really great people. And the Adult Ed is hosting a graduation for their high-set graduates this upcoming Wednesday, the 17th at 5:30 p.m. here in the Telstar Library. So I would encourage any of you to attend and support those graduates as well. You can celebrate their accomplishments. And lastly, I believe you all received an email from MSBA, and then I think Mark forwarded the information along as well. It was a short video on social media and school board members, school board communications, about 20 or so minutes long. Most of us, it's information that a lot of us are aware of, but there was some really useful information and guidance in that video, so I would suggest taking a look at that as well. And that concludes the superintendent's report. Overstepping a little bit.
Are you telling us something?
Now moving on to the committee and board meetings, upcoming committee and board meetings. Our next SAD 44 board meeting will be on Monday, August 17th at 6:30 p.m. here in the Telstar Library. The Education Committee will meet Thursday, September 10th at 3 p.m. in the Norway Savings Bank Conference Room. Finance and Negotiations Committee will meet Tuesday, September 8th at 5:30 p.m. in the central office. Facilities and Personnel will meet Monday, August 17th at 5:15, right before a regular board meeting in the Telstar Conference Room. Policy will be meeting Wednesday, September 2nd at 10 a.m. in the Telstar Conference Room. And the Region 9 Cooperative Board will be meeting Wednesday, August 5th at 6 p.m. in Region 9 School of Applied Technology. Moving on to committee reports, reporting for the Education Committee, Ms. Kayer.
The Education Committee met in the middle of May, and we made a pretty detailed list of a lot of the data that we want to review come the start of the year. Some of that data takes a little while to get together, just given the nature of the timing of the tests. A lot of the kids conducted their testing, the second to last week of school. So we'll be able to have some year-over-year data to review and hit the ground running with come the start of next school year. And we also spent some time with Mr. Twitchell reviewing the curriculum review process that will be implemented starting, did it technically start this year, or is it starting next year?
We're hoping to have everything in place for the fall.
Okay, so the curriculum review process for the different subject matters and what that review process will look like, and kind of setting up a more concrete structure for that.
Thank you, Stephanie. Yep. And reporting for facilities and personnel, Mr. Kendall.
Yep, so we met this evening, just before this meeting. Not too much to go over, but we did go over that our new maintenance director will start overseeing the custodial team as well as the maintenance workers that we have. It's not unprecedented, it's been like that in the past, so we're just kind of guiding that back into it, so they have, direct report to them. And then we went over some job descriptions, including adult ed director, athletic coordinator, athletic trainer, food service director, and food service worker. And lastly, we talked about the fields at Telstar, what we want to do about grading and ditching those. We're coming up on some pretty nasty stuff, things just aren't moving. All the piping underneath is just gone. So we're talking about either doing the worst 2 drains and getting a quote, or talking to a vendor about possibly an engineering study to see what we should be doing for long term. That's it.
Thank you, Brian. For the finance team, Ms. Sarah?
Good evening. We met in early May, really just to prepare for the public hearing, and to finalize our presentation. That was successful.
Thank you, Amanda. And for the policy committee, Ms. Herbeck?
Yes, we met June 8th, I think, was our last meeting. There are 2 second readings in the agenda. The therapy dog policy, which had a couple of minor tweaks to language, but other than that remains the same, as well as the cell phone and technology policy, which also had some minor tweaks. But second reading, that should get us compliant come fall. And there was a policy proposal brought to the policy committee regarding displays in buildings in our district. So there was a lot of discussion there, deep dives into the state and district policy and state recommendations and staff surveys. At this time, the committee will not be bringing that policy to the board, to the full board, but we are continuing discussion on a procedural law.
Thank you, Stephanie. And for the Region 9 Cooperative Board, Mr. Brown?
And each year, 3 of the programs that are down at Region 9, kids are able to take their state standards test and become fully licensed if they're able to pass. Automotive, welding, and CNA, the CNA course are the 3 that they're able to do this in. We had 2 students, AI Blue, passed the state motor vehicle inspection, and he's working up at Bethel Auto as an inspector, so that's great for him. Matthew Doucette passed his state welding. He was for flat and vertical. I'm not sure what that means, but flat and vertical. He's going to White Mountain Regional School for advanced degree in welding. I couldn't find how many, the 15 students in the CNA course, every single one of them passed the test. And the best thing is they graduated on Thursday, 7 of them had jobs Monday morning. It's amazing. And I don't know how many, I wish I knew how many I asked, but I haven't got those names yet. So
Was our 7 got?
7 had jobs as of Monday morning.
That instructor has
That's
100%
amazing.
completion rating on the state exam with her students. The whole time she's been there over 15 years.
She says she has
Every
3.
kid's always passed.
She has 3 physician assistants come out of that program. Gone all the way through and now PA. She does a great job.
It's impressive.
Also, Telstar seniors awarded over $10,000 in scholarships, which was tops among the schools, which is really good. And just a reminder that Michaela Maury was our student of the year down there. And also she's on her way, I don't know if she's left yet, but she's on her way to Alaska and sometime this summer, fully paid, to spend 10 days up there in an outdoor education course, so good for her. And the 2 buildings are fully operational. And we just hired a new culinary arts, and the first thing this lady did was, before she even signed her name on the dotted line, she went in, she planted a bunch of herbs in the greenhouse to make sure the kids had something to work with before they show up, so, pretty good. Pretty good.
Now I'm turning it over to Mr. Penny for the superintendent's report. You want to stay from the.
So first and foremost, we have one of our pre-K teachers from Crescent Park here tonight, Ms. Gina Welch, who is the current 2026 Oxford County Teacher of the Year. And she absolutely hates this moment to be in front of everybody. But she's here tonight to have a face to the name. She is up for, as are all the county teachers of the year, for state teacher of the year. And it is a blessing and a curse to be nominated for this, because it's a lot of work. A lot of additional work that has to come now with the recognition is wonderful and well deserved. No questions about that. But now she has to put in a lot of work to put a portfolio together, videotaping lessons in her classroom, a lot of analyzing, a lot of appearances
Yes.
to represent. And so she's doing it. But she wanted to come tonight and just speak a little bit about her experience, what it means, and just how she came to this position.
Yeah, Mark told me that I could have a few minutes to talk with you if I came tonight. So I wanted to take the opportunity to share with you how you can nominate a teacher. I know that there are quite a few teachers in our district that have been nominated before, but I think the more people that know how to do it and that it is actually a thing, we'll see so many more of our teachers getting the recognition. And even if a teacher is nominated and doesn't make it as far as becoming County Teacher of the Year, the recognition, just to be nominated is so nice. You get to read the letter later and realize that someone recognized you and that you meant something to someone. So just being nominated is really an honor in itself. So I have a cheat sheet so that I don't forget, but I just wanted to share with you the website and kind of what it looks like if you choose to nominate a teacher. So it's super simple to do it. It's just www.maintoy, T-O-Y, for teacheroftheyear.org/nominate. And so the timeline for nominating a teacher is mid-December, usually to the very end of January. And it is very simple. You just need to know, their name and their school and what they teach and that sort of thing. And then you write a little paragraph about why they made a difference to you or your child or whatever students you might work with or have in your life. Anybody can nominate. Community members, administrators, colleagues can nominate one another. I nominated a teacher this year at Crescent Park, ironically enough. It was a funny thing. Anybody, business people in the community can nominate. They don't accept nominations from family members, so like my mom can't say that I'm great. She can, but they don't want that as a nomination, but anyone else can. And then there are some eligibility requirements for teachers. That's not really for you to have to verify or anything like that, but it is good to know going into it that the teacher has to have a minimum of 5 years teaching, 3 of which have to be in Maine. They have to hold the appropriate professional certification for the position that they're teaching, and be certified and in good standing. So at some point throughout the process, the Teacher of the Year program reaches out to your principal to make sure that you're not on a performance improvement plan or something like that. And it can be, you have to be actively teaching at least 50% of your day. So I know that in some places folks have split positions, and I don't really know a lot about that. I just know that it has to be 50% of your day. And then after, you have to maintain your teaching position in the county for which you're serving, because now we're considered to be in our year of service. And so as a cohort, the 16 county teachers, now we're this group now, and we have to come together. There's a lot of professional development over the summer to attend, and we come together and kind of decide as a group, like, what is our platform for advocating for education in our state. So we'll come together as a group, but we're also expected to decide on our own as an individual what is our message to the public and that sort of thing. So that's where that main state Teacher of the Year kind of runs into. So I'll know 2 weeks from tonight if I've made it through the first round of the selection process for state. So they'll narrow it down from 16 to 8, and then those 8 will move on 4 finalists, then it gets kind of like really serious, and they come to school in the fall, and they observe you in your classroom, and they interview colleagues and board members and people, so it's a very long process. You don't find out until October, I think, if you are the state teacher of the year. And I just want to give, I'm only 30 seconds left, just a big shout out to Mr. Twitchell for helping me out so much with the technical piece of submitting my teaching video. Anybody that knows me knows that technology is not my strong suit. I don't really use it, like it, or have it, other than like electricity. So that was a huge barrier for me, trying to understand and figure out how to record myself in a way that the selection committee could hear my voice and my students, and just all of those things that I'm not good at that. And Brian was just instrumental. I really wouldn't have been able to do it without him. He made sure we had the right equipment and all the tools, and he came to my class the week before, and we did a trial run, and so he was just so great in helping me get all that in. So thank you so much for taking the time to do that. He spent a lot of time, many hours helping me out, so that's it. I'm sorry, my hands are really sweaty.
We're very appreciative of your efforts. Our kids benefit from every day, and so do your colleagues. So it's a well-deserved honor, and you can do it.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So I'll let you know in 2 weeks what happens.
Moving along, we have, Mr. Strickland's been very busy filling positions, so we have some ed tech appointments to already announced for next year. Angela Harvey has been hired as an Ed Tech 3 to work at the Telstar High School in the Freshman Academy program. Melissa Henry, hired as an Ed Tech 3 to work at Telstar High School. Brooklyn Kimball, hired as an Ed Tech 3 to work at Crescent Park. Amber Lee Millett, an Ed Tech 1 to work at Telstar High School. And Melinda Pereira, an Ed Tech 1 to be split between Crescent Park and or Woodstock, depending on student needs. So he had 5 positions to fill and filled all 5. Doing well. We have 1 custodian hire. Jason Mathias has returned back to Telstar after being here for over 15 years. He was gone for a few years to Texas, moved back to Telstar and filled the half-time positions currently open. And he's been filling in and subbing in the other half of his position that's currently open as well to fill an 8-hour day. And 1 resignation / retirement effective June 12th, last Friday. Wendy Hanscom has made it official, and she is all done at central office and off on to retirement. So last Friday is her last day in the district. Later on in the agenda, we have 2 teaching positions for you to approve tonight for next year. And then we will have a bunch of coaching positions in the fall at the August meeting for fall 3 season. As Stephanie and Aaron pointed out, we had graduation a little over a week ago at the high school. During a nice, warm, humid stretch in the gym. If you were lucky enough to be able to watch at home, thanks to what TV, you were much cooler and more comfortable, but we had a wonderful turnout. The gym was packed. It was one of the biggest turnouts we've had in a few years. It was great to see. A lot of happy kids, a lot of happy families. It went very well. The whole week was great. They had good weather, great events, well attended. A lot of effort goes in behind the scenes on that, and so it is a very appreciated thing. Terry Ingraham and Gail White really take on the duties that entire week to run graduation prep, and then teachers and administrators. And we had our biggest group of teachers come and march in graduation at the high school. It was really nice to see, and the kids were really, really appreciative of that. 5th grade celebrations went well. 8th grade night was very hot as well in the auditorium. But again, lots to celebrate in the district, lots of moving up, and overall, really good year. Our kids had a really good year, our staff had a really good year, lots to celebrate in the academic realm, lots to celebrate in the athletic realm. Our high school boys baseball team tomorrow night at 6:30 down at St. Joseph's College will be in the regional championship game against number 1 Richmond. It's been since 2012, I believe, since the boys baseball team has been at this game, so it's a big deal. And the girls lost a heartbreaker in extra innings at their home playoff game. And our middle school softball team went all the way to the championship game at Spruce Mountain. and lost to Spruce. It was their only loss of the season was to Spruce, and then they had a much better game in the playoff game, but a lot of success. We had a lot of success in the track season this year. High school, middle school level, we had a lot of school records broken. We even had one 8th grader, Kylie Mills, who broke 3 school records. So her name will be on the wall outside the gym in 3 different places, and one of her middle school records would have broken a high school record as well. So there's a lot of things happening, a lot of participation at the middle school and high school level, which is nice to see, and nice weather, but the community support and people coming to the games and the track meets that last a minimum of 4 hours. It takes some dedication for the kids and the parents alike. But it's just nice to see the support has continued from the fall, the basketball season, the spring outside on the hill and the fields. So thank you for that, if you're a part of that. Just a reminder, since we won't be meeting again, August 1st is a requirement for anybody to submit a letter of intent to be board chair per policy BDA. So just a letter or an email to me before August 1st if you're interested in that. And then up next, we have Mr. Twitchell to just give a quick presentation of our upcoming ESEA grant application.
Good evening. You do have a copy of this, I believe, in your packets, and I'm not going to read it to you because you've got it, but I do want to just hit some highlights. The ESEA grant is what funds our Title I positions primarily. And there are 5 titles that can be used for different things, but they also allow us to transfer them to Title I, which is one of the things that we do with Title II and Title IV. The amounts are on there. You can see the amounts, a total of $314,831. That grant I've just barely started writing, and we'll have it submitted by mid to late July, well before its deadline. You can see the comparison to last year. It's down about $2,500 from last year's amount. So not a major decrease, but something we keep an eye on. We have to build projects for these things, and a project often is school-wide at Crescent Park. And what goes in there is the money for our Title I staff at Crescent Park, and similarly at Woodstock and the middle school. And we do create a couple other projects as needed. There's usually one for homeless issues, may include transportation, may include supplies, other things like that. And one of the things that we have as a requirement as a federal grant is to collect public comment. And so it just went up this afternoon, a link on our Title I page on the website where the community can submit comments about the broad strokes of what I've described there. And I will also publicize that so people know it's there. But by having it on the agenda here, which is a public document, it also helps us to communicate that out. So that's about what I've got, unless anyone has a question that they want a little more detail on. Yeah?
I'm just curious, how often do we have to reapply for this grant?
This is an every year thing.
Okay.
Every July we write this grant. It's statewide. Everyone's doing it.
Mark, all these numbers show up in the non-tax revenue for the school budget. It adds up to 314, or whatever, 317. Is that in the, we just have expenditure, we don't have a revenue sheet.
No.
So it's not a, it's not,
Because it's federal funds, it's not local taxpayer funds. These are all these title programs are all federal funded.
so people are working, that's their wage.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. This covers, well, majority of that number is all salaries and benefits.
It's the whole thing, the benefits too.
Yeah.
Are there any jobs that are commingled, like we're also paying with the general fund, as well as like Title V?
Not in the title, no.
They're
because
just small,
if
part-time
we-
jobs.
Yep, so last year, we talked a little bit about, we were told the possibility that the federal funds might end. And we were they go until the end of September, until the 1st of October is when they would end. If we started with those positions and then the federal money went away, we would have to cut those positions. If we put the money into our local budget, and the feds can see that we could afford to do that, they would pull the federal money back and it wouldn't exist and it had to be completely locally funded. So you have one position at the middle school, you have
Title I.
Title I teacher in middle school.
Yeah.
You have a teaching principal at Woodstock. Ms. Fujimaki's half of her position is administrator, half is Title I at Woodstock.
So there's a little bit of a commingling then.
Well, they're two separate, half and half. It's a half-time position under Title I and a half-time position as administrator.
But it's one person,
Yes.
and that
Sorry,
person,
so yes.
they're getting a full-time check.
Yeah, two parts,
pennies, yeah.
two parts of the position. And then Crescent Park has one full-time, one half-time teacher, and then one full-time ed tech.
Is that half-time teacher actually a full-time teacher?
No, she's a half-time.
I'm all set, I get the gist of it, thank you. Appreciate it.
Is that all of our project money? I see there's like another little paragraph under that about smaller projects in the past related to family engagement and absenteeism and that. Is that anything we're currently?
So that would fall under Title V. And so Title V is stuff that we work on with administration and with building administrators for those projects. So attendance is one of those projects, and trying to work on increasing or decreasing our chronic absenteeism, and it needs to do that. And then community and parent engagement is part of Title I. We are supposed to have pieces of that as part of Title I and services. So some money is set aside for that each year for K through 8. Because all three schools, K through 8, are whole school Title I schools, so everyone can have a piece of it.
So do we have to like, I'm assuming because it's federal grant, we have to keep, there must be like pretty good documentation on what we spent money on and the actions that we took, or?
It's part of the report that, with the grant that you have to go through and submit each year as to what is being done with it. You have to be able to justify.
So there are two parts to that. First, the budget I put in.
Yep.
But then, on a monthly basis, Deb will bill the state for what we have spent, and that has to be justifiable, so she has to have the documentation to submit. And then, this coming fall, I will have to do a performance report on the grant of 26 that ends at the end of September. So there's several pieces there where we have to make sure all our, everything's crossed and dotted as needed.
I gotta ask, Title V, additional funding to support the needs of rural and low-income schools, and it's a little over 10 grand. What are we doing for 10 grand? What does that do for rural and low-income schools?
So the Title V is an interesting one because it can't be transferred to one of the other titles. Like I said, 2 and 4 can be lumped.
What are we procuring with
But
10.5?
it can be used for any of the things that Titles 1, 2, 3, and 4 can be used for. So it could be used for professional development. It could be used, this is where the homeless piece will come out, where we get supplies and possible transportation.
I get it, it's a little bit of a, yeah, that's fine.
Small projects.
What would it look like in a school that qualified for a lot more money? Would they actually have, I don't know what, poverty counselor, or, I don't know.
I don't know.
Never mind, I don't know how to hold the meeting back, gotta move here.
All right, thank you very much.
Thanks, Brian.
Thank you. In your board package, you have the expenditure summary through the end of May, the monthly statements, and we're working on the end of June. Right now, well, we started this month, we still have 50% of our budget to spend. We're doing well in all of our categories. The one we're watching is transportation, and that's been an ongoing throughout the year. As we talked many times, it's because the majority of driving was done by RideSource this year. This spring, our 2 drivers did more field trips and some of the sports trips, which will help out. And we were making adjustments for next year's budget to go accordingly. But we've been really good and very fortunate in our budget in the current year. And looking forward to next year, we should be in good shape. As I did back in December, I gave you guys an update before we talked about chronic absenteeism. And this is an update tonight for the end of the year. ran this report twice, and you have two different pictures at the top of the page, because when I ran it the first time, I forgot that the high school, the seniors already exited from the system. And I looked down like, wow, the numbers are, no offense, really good in high school. And I looked like, wow, all the seniors are 100% attendance. I'm going, okay. So going back, that's why the high school has its own graph to make sure it's accurate and being shown with everybody else. But the good news is that gains were made in our attendance across the board, which is huge. And as you can see, the biggest winner was the middle school, in reducing their numbers the most and their attendance rates. I just showed you the same breakdown that comparing last school year to the current school year, and both at the end of each year, of where we stand across the board.
Sorry, Mark, can you clarify, remind us what chronic
So,
means?
thank you. So chronic absenteeism is based on 10% or more absent. So in a school year of 175 days, it's 17 and a half or more days absent. And that doesn't matter if it's excused, unexcused, it's any absence from school. And so if you get to chronic level, it's essentially 18 days or more in a given school year. I did go through, and it was hard to find the right place for it to fit on here, but well, I thought I did, but I don't see it now. Okay. I had a key in here, but the color coding, if you look at the colors in green, green is anywhere from 0 to 8 absences is considered in the no absent issue in a school year. And then it goes from 9 to 12 is the yellow, 13 to 17 is the orange, and then 18 and above is the red. And I'll have to go back here. I had that typed in at one point this morning, but sorry, I missed it. Just have a sense of what the numbers in those bands look like and the percentages. Hopefully this will be something that we can sort of track going forward each year. Now that we do have all the data in PowerSchool, we will have it, be able to track and to show the comparison. But on page 2, you can see the breakdown by grade level, not just by building. And that takes, grade level is the entire district. So that's a combination of Woodstock and Crescent Park together by grade level, for the elementary level, K through 5. There was a spike this year in freshmen, which had not happened on the chronic side of things. So that's definitely something that we will want to watch for next year to see if we have anything shifting or changing. That's a big transition year with a different program. That has not been the case in years past. So that was one of the big spikes that came up in the data. Scott?
So those numbers of students, that's all the kids in the building, or their grade?
In the grade, yeah.
There's 4 categories, no issues of chronic. Okay.
Correct.
And what counts, like, is there anything that doesn't count as is there anything that counts as an excused absence?
Excuse that, so when it's fails in chronic, it doesn't matter if excused or unexcused. It's absence in general. There are 5 categories in order to be excused in the state regulations, and when parents call in, by communicating with the office, it'll count as an excused absence if you hit one of those 5 categories. Unexcused primarily is no communication. We don't know why the kiddo was absent. Parents didn't call or email or send a text message. It's automatically unexcused. And then if they're excused, they'd hit one of those 5.
But this is just,
This is
this is just attendance,
correct.
like regardless of.
Right.
These are absolute numbers.
When the state looks at chronic absenteeism, it doesn't matter. They don't look at the
I
reasons
just wanna
why.
make sure
Yeah.
it wasn't even higher or lower
Sure.
or
So when you're 0 to 8, you're counting as not being there, you're showing up in here, you're just not,
You're in the green.
you're
Right.
considered no issues.
Right. It doesn't hit the radar as being a problem.
Do we know how we compare to other districts? Like, I mean, I look at the chart on the page 2 is like very interesting. I mean, only only kindergarten, second, fourth, and seventh have more than half of the students not in the chronically athletic.
What is in green?
Yeah, I mean, just because of, like, they were, like, that, like, green means,
0 to 8
yeah, like,
absences
they
in a
could
given
still
year.
been absent 8 days, you know,
You could have,
which is
up to 8
Yeah.
days. Yep.
not nothing.
Yep.
And more than half of the students weren't even able to get into that category. Which seems really high.
The state data will come out after July. So right now I can't see comparative data, but they do publish the chronic absenteeism rates for each district.
Okay.
So I'll have a chance to be able to see how we, just even our regional area, curiosity wise. Yeah, it's a competitive thing, always kind of curious to see how we're doing compared to others.
Mark, if I may. So last spring, last fall, the WMEC and our PD committees that we have monthly spent a little time looking at attendance data across our regions. And we looked at in different groups. I was in the high school group, and we found some very interesting things that for most districts, the absence issue dropped off the junior year compared to their sophomore and freshman year. And so, of course, you get a lot of speculation as to why that is. Well, Telstar didn't drop off. Telstar dropped off at the sophomore level. Any thoughts as to what might cause that? Our supposition, and we don't have data to prove it, it's the CTE. That kids who are attending CTE tend to have fewer absence issues than kids who are not, or at least...
Region 9, Region 9.
Yes, Region 9, sorry, Region 9, when they attend Region 9, we tend to get a lot more engagement, and we start our kids, some of them at sophomore. So there is some look in various levels at that and how it impacts. And we don't have concrete answers, but it was very interesting to look at that. So.
Mark, your kid has a doctor's appointment at 9 o'clock, he shows up to school at noontime, 1 o'clock, absent or tardy?
11:30. You have to get to school by 11:30.
11:30, so if they come in after 11:30, then they're considered absent.
The state says you have to be present for 50% of the day.
And that's not our, that's a state, one of the state guidelines. Any other question?
The 14 chronic staff.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a lot.
The reduction was higher, and then when you reported in December,
That's an improvement?
is an improvement.
Did they know that we got the report?
So,
Yeah, I don't have much
we
commentary on it.
were at 18 in the December report,
Yeah.
and we're down to 14. The other thing, this year, we have, and that is, when it says teachers, is everyone has a teacher contract? So, teachers, it could be secretary, it could be other people also on the teacher contract. Ed techs are a separate breakout.
It's really 19 when you include ed tech.
And so the other piece with that is that this year, in your contract negotiations, we were able to increase the stipend check for staff under the TA contract with fewer than 4 absences. We increased the check from 400 to 750. And this year, we also took away the stipulation that you did not have to be in the district for a minimum of 18 years. So it was open to all staff. And we had more staff than ever before achieve that goal and the driving force. So our sub lines are actually down this year compared to years past. It looks like a big number here, but the amount of time out of classrooms was less this year for teachers than it was the previous year. So we are starting to make some headway in having teachers in front of the kids more.
Going back to what Brian presented before, Title V, that was the parental outreach line.
Yes.
And then I'm just saying, that might correlate with the absentee, maybe that line should be increased a lot more with the parental outreach. Just pointing that out, that $10,000, it directly affects this absentee, the parental involvement. So just throwing that out there as a possible look at.
think part of it is just the education around it.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It's part of the outreach is your understanding and the importance of, you know, there are certain things you can't make up for getting a packet for not being in school. Things come up. One thing that does happen a lot in our district is family vacations outside of school vacation weeks. The kids take chunks of time out for kids, more so than illnesses. So those things add up too over time. So.
Remembering correctly that our ELO numbers sometimes factor into this as well.
They do not
They do not,
specifically, because
okay,
they get
okay.
attendance for those written down, so it does not penalize them if they're in the alone. And we had 23 kids this year doing a spring ELO. So they were in either every other day or part of one day only and off on their job placement. So their days were, that was part of their schedule and part of their attendance. And they were very successful. So out of class of 38, had 23 of them doing a successful ELO second semester. Is meeting individual needs and those cultural pathways.
Were there any graduates with perfect attendance?
I don't believe so. I didn't run a perfect attendance report. I know there was one student in middle school this year. I don't know if we had any elementary level.
I stopped tracking it once I tracked it one time, and then I jinxed everybody the next week that had perfect attendance. They were all sick the next week, so.
We have one seventh grader at the most perfect attendance.
I know there were a couple of kids who had perfect attendance at Region 9. They do at Region 9 celebrate that graduation time.
At education committee, when we were talking about like being able to look at trends, and one of the issues was our switch to Power School. So is attendance data, like, we only have it from 24 and 25? Like, it's not easy to be able to look at more than
We don't,
1 year?
when it was in Infinite Campus, which is the platform before that, when that license ran out, we lost all historical data that went with it. So we had to start with this data, we had to start with what we have in Power School moving forward.
What gets reported to the state then, though? Because that should at least, there should be a record of that year over year.
It isn't broken down as much detail.
Okay.
They get holistic data, but I could pull some of those state reports and just the district-wide data if you want. At least there's something further back.
I think it would be helpful for us to, rather than just like one year, to know how we're trending, or like what the baseline has been in the past.
Any updates on the Power School lawsuit that we got ourselves into last August?
There have not been any,
Nothing at all.
I had 4 students this year with perfect attendance.
Was that 2 or mine, just for the record?
I know. I wasn't gonna say it.
What?
2 of my kids.
Yeah.
Well, I bought them there every day.
Yes.
Before 11:30.
I don't track data unless they do the attendance. They do it themselves.
Good for you.
That's awesome. I'll see how far back we can pull the state data from previous years, but also this year, I'll look for comparables around our regional schools as well.
Do we know we were losing them when we made the switch, or was it like we were gonna lose all of it?
We knew we would be losing access to things. I thought we had paper documentation backups and reports, but they were not. So, now we have them going forward. Aaron said, congratulations to our 5 board members who were re-elected. Thank you for continuing to serve in your roles. It's very much appreciated. And then Mr. O'Connor kicked it off tonight, but we do have outgoing staff, Susan Gordon, and Ed Tech retiring. Arlen, who is here tonight, her last day of work, is heading off to retirement. Wendy Hanscom, Tim O'Connor, Pam Tobin, who was an Ed Tech at Crescent Park. And even though she's not retiring officially, but is not returning, Deb Doyle, 6th grade science, is also done at the end of this school year. So we have those positions, those people who will not be with us next fall, and very much appreciate their efforts and time that they put in the district over the years. We currently have Mr. O'Connor's position advertised and open for industrial arts. We are looking for a 9th grade special ed teacher still. Our 6th grade math position is open, and the elementary music position has been posted now the budget is passed. And we've had 2 inquiries and 1 application, and so we're getting ready to hopefully be able to process those and to fill that additional music position back in the budget for the instrumental. So other than that, we're in really good shape positions-wise. We're still in June, and we'll see where things shuffle out. The other piece that we will be interviewing for is the special ed secretary slash reception at the central office that Wendy's vacating. So we have applications for that as well. So I feel pretty fortunate to have options, which is great. And that will conclude my report for tonight.
Thank you. Moving on, we do not have any old business to tend to this evening, so we have on to new business. Number 1, discussion. I wanted to check in, provide an opportunity, and all of you board members received correspondence from Mark, I believe, mid last week regarding the grievance process, the grievance hearing. You reached out to our attorneys at Drummond and Woodson for some legal guidance moving forward and what that process should look like. So I believe you all got that information, hopefully read through it, but I did also want to provide an opportunity at the meeting if there were any, questions, concerns beyond that. It is something that we will continue to look at the committee level, at policy committee, at potentially establishing procedure and such, but if there were any questions.
I think that conversation that may happen, that I hope happens a little bit, is that it's an executive session about that process, and the process of what we observed. Just to add on, but that's fine.
The specific process that took place.
Well, yeah, I think that it edges into, how it was handled. So that'll be an executive session. That's tonight, right? There's some opportunity.
That's not the purpose of tonight's executive session, but that is something, if that's the will of the board, that we could certainly.
I thought there was some email traffic that was going to get kicked on to executive session at some point. I think Mark said it, actually. I don't know.
I'm sorry, what was that?
That's all good. No, we'll get there. We'll get there. Thank you.
Any other comments or concerns on that process or feedback at this point in time?
Only that I do think it is a little hard to talk about the grievance openly if we can't talk about the grievance. But in terms of the process, I think the biggest issue that was clarified by the attorneys is that we can't have access to documents, and that I think was the biggest problem. I mean, right, I think it was a big problem. And so I think, I don't know how that gets communicated in the future, whether it's by email that tells us times that we can come in and view stuff. I had spoke after the agreements to my friend that is a labor lawyer, and she had said that it isn't, she made it sound like the documents, things that are confidential, you can be told things like, you cannot copy this, but that you could be given a packet that you could read at home and bring back to the office or something, that the idea is that you're not sharing the information, it's not public information, but that it wouldn't be that we'd have to sit here and read it or sit in the office too. And so I don't know if that's more clarity we can get if we end up in a situation like this, but considering how much we were expected to look through, I think that could have been helpful, that we could have come and picked up a packet, and especially if we can't come during the day. So that would be the biggest thing. And I did, in reading the email from the lawyers, I do think it was still a little bit unclear on how the reasons get written, but, like, it was kind of like, oh, like, I feel like at the end of that document they sent us, it was still a little bit, like, logistically trying to imagine how we go from, like, the conversation in executive session to leaving executive session to taking a vote. And then somewhere from that, you then need to construct a document that gives the reasons of the response. And so I don't know if that means you go back into executive session to discuss the reasons so that you as board chair can communicate that. But I feel like that logistically is still a little bit unclear to me. And that's the part I'm most uncomfortable with, because like a letter was drafted of our reasons, but I don't think we actually ever had a conversation about our reasons. So,
Correct.
it's not, I think it's,
Plus.
it's just a strange process also, because like the board essentially is separate from Mark and the grieved person in these scenarios, and we're acting independently, and I feel like just trying to figure out how to do that in a way that's fair to everyone is important.
Thank you for that feedback, because it clearly, I know I was not present that night, but from everything that I've gathered, it is a process that we, probably need to get a procedure in place and work out what works best for, the board in our district. Mark, did you?
The majority of the material that we got was provided by the lawyer. Did you even have that, Mark, prior to that?
Was he a
So
lawyer?
there would be
I think he
no
was just a
opportunity.
representative.
Huh?
He's a union rep.
Yeah, the union rep.
But I don't think he was a lawyer.
No, he's a union
Oh,
rep.
just the union rep, okay. But anyway, so that's beyond our control and beyond your control. They just come with a packet this thick and we're supposed to go through it. So
Yeah,
that's another complicated factor.
Yeah, I think that there can be communication with the TEA though, because I think none of us were able to really do, and it sounds like it had been a long time since TEA had brought agreements, so I think that's like feedback we maybe need to give them too, is that if they want us to be able to engage fairly, then we need to be set up in a,
It was 1992.
okay. I was 10, so.
It was me.
It was a process that none of us have been through.
Yeah,
And so,
but
A
yeah,
lot
I
of
think
learning-
that's true,
a lot
because
of learning
like
at the
binder
time.
did come from them,
Yeah.
so.
which was a lot to even look at our process.
The takeaway I got from the letter from our lawyer was, that there seemed like a typical procedure is that there's a time within executive session for the board to have a private discussion prior to voting, and that felt like the biggest miss, in our process, because none of us got a chance to even like take each other's temperature, kind of like, I feel like as a board do a really good job at like bouncing ideas back and forth to each other and kind of like clarifying things, and that process obviously didn't really happen because it was all in the same room at the same time, and so I think that maybe would go along with best processes of like, is that time between the discussion and the vote, the time where we come up with our reasons, or is it, after the vote, who knows? But that time in between, I feel like would have been really valuable for us.
Didn't the thing say something about like you and DEA like leaving the room?
Yeah, and that didn't happen.
Okay.
So I think if that did happen, then it would have been beneficial for all of us.
Yeah.
Noted, thank you. Any other comments, questions on that process? Thank you. And thank you for that feedback, it is very helpful. That was, a learning process for all of us. And we'll work on making that more efficient and effective. Moving
It's
on.
fair. Sorry, I just added the
Yes,
word
no,
fair.
absolutely, absolutely.
What did you say, Deb?
And she said efficient and effective, and I just said to add the word fair to it, because I think it's important to be fair for all parties.
Yeah, that didn't happen, in my opinion, in the process. We did not render due process that we're supposed to per the contract. So that's my opinion. We'll talk a little more of it, but if it's applicable in executive session.
Thank you. Moving on to number 2, we do not have any adjustments to the agenda this evening. We'll move on to number 3, to see what action the board would like to take regarding the approval of the computation and declaration of votes for the district budget referendum held on June 9th, 2026.
So moved.
Would you be willing to read that breathy?
I can read it, you know I can read it, right?
No, that's why I
You
said.
need to hear it, I gotta go through the drill.
We do need to, the public
All
record.
right, I move that the computation declaration of votes dated and attached here too be approved, that the computation declaration of votes be entered upon the records of Maine School Administrative District number 44, the district, and that a certified copy of the computation and declaration of votes be sent to each of the municipal clerks within the district.
Thank you, Scott.
Sorry.
Thank you, Stephanie. Is there any discussion on this motion? Seeing no discussion, all those in favor of approving the motion as read? Thank you, the motion passes. We'll begin passing around papers to sign. Make sure you sign in blue or black ink.
On the
And
same
sign
line.
in the same line. Yeah. And as we distribute these, we'll start moving through the next items.
I know. None of those school supplies are on.
Okay, perfect.
That's very good.
We gave up on it, is that all?
As that's being passed around, I'm gonna move on to number 4.
There's more.
Okay, I'll do some of these last. Number 4, to see what action the board would like to take regarding the approval of the assessment warrant, assessment schedule, and notice of installments prepared by the treasurer for each member municipality of the district for fiscal year 2026, 2027, and to be issued in form presented to the meeting, and that the treasurer be authorized and directed to deliver to each member municipality its assessment warrant, its assessment schedule, and notice of installments. Do I have a motion? Thank you, Justin.
Second.
Thank you, Stephanie. Any discussion on the proposed motion? Seeing none, all those in favor of approving agenda item number 4 as read? Thank you, it's unanimous. And those papers are being distributed as well. Number 5, to see what action the board would like to take regarding approval of the computation and declaration of votes for the district school board elections held on June 9th, 2026.
I make a motion that the computation and declaration of votes stated and attached hereto be approved, that the computation and declaration of votes be entered upon the records of Maine School Administrative District number 44, the district, and that a certified copy of the computation and declaration of votes be sent to each of the municipal clerks within the district and the commissioner of the Maine Department of Education.
Thank you, Ms. Moon. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Bob. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of approving agenda item number 5 as read? Thank you, it's unanimous.
You're doing it fast.
Unless anyone is opposed, I will move on to agenda item number 6 as we go through and sign the paperwork. Number 6, to see what action the board would like to take regarding approval of authorizing the superintendent of schools to hire new staff during the summer.
So moved.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Scott and Destiny. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of approving the authorization of the superintendent of schools to hire new staff during the summer? Thank you, it's unanimous. Now we'll wait on the next agenda item because we do need to distribute some paperwork with that as well.
like her
This
teaching
is just,
position.
This is the next agenda item.
well done, Simon.
Okay.
Very thick ones.
This is the next two agenda items.
Yeah, there's two here. No, yeah, it's, so it's, there's a number of teacher in a second.
Oh, okay.
That's just it.
What's the extra? I know, still fear of mine, like one day, I'm gonna go up against nobody and I'm gonna lose.
I had that fear too. I had a dream that there was like 200 people that wrote somebody else's name in.
Just literally.
It takes a really coordinated and dedicated community.
Just make the wrong person mad.
It's urban wall, they're off the board. It's right in Mickey Mouse.
We have people that do it.
You would do sleepover.
Me? Really?
Is his name Kevin?
Yeah.
I just thought it was like a misspelling of your name.
I didn't even read what I was saying. I'm a terrible person.
I was like, oh, someone spelled your name wrong. That's what I
Mathematics.
That was just Bethel.
He does.
It was he needed to do it for me.
Exactly. Yes, we got a good result.
They're in the same spot.
Oh, no.
I'm not kidding.
It's a different form.
It's a different kind of formula, does that matter?
No.
Just the order, the order has to
I'm
be.
just saying,
As long as it's off the same form.
Is it the same thing?
there's more lines on this one, it doesn't matter?
You're signing.
See what I'm saying?
No, I don't think it matters.
Oh, I
Just
missed two,
verify.
give those back.
Is that what happened?
Oh,
These
how
four
did you
the
mess
same.
it up?
This is different.
I'm just making
No,
sure.
that's good.
You're good.
Regardless, you should be the same
Thank you.
from the first line.
Yeah.
What?
I knew it was 4 down, and this one I was not.
Oh, there's some other, I thought we were talking about
Yeah, there's.
some different forms and.
Listen, you want to have to resign?
See trivial, there was some kind of trivials, I was. What's something different?
No, they,
The
we
forms
figured
are
it out.
different, there's more lines on 4 of them than the first 2. You get told, same spot.
I stopped asking.
You gotta change the spot.
Now move on to agenda.
I gotta
item
pick and
number
choose my
7.
questions.
To see what action the board would like to take in approving the superintendent's recommendation of Philip Oliveri as the new 8th grade special education teacher at Riverside Middle School to a first-year probationary contract for the 2026-2027 school year. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Stephanie. A
Second that?
Thank you, Destiny. Any discussion?
Just on the credentials, is that a conditional certification, or is it, could it change over, or do you not really look at it that way? Page 1 of the gentleman's application.
That conditional is a admin certification. It was conditional for admin.
All
He's
right.
coming as a teacher role. this last year in RSU 10, he served as an interim administrator in the new community school.
All right, so then the first one means he's certified.
Correct.
So, okay, all right, I got it. All right, good, good,
Yep.
thanks.
So RSU 10, that means that our new person is headhunting him, or?
No.
Okay, all right, just
Yes, Ross did work with him, but this person reached out to Ross, he did not get him.
Probably heard how much money he's having.
They're always checking.
Any other discussion or questions on this particular candidate? Seeing none, all those in favor of approving the superintendent's recommendation that Philip Oliveri is in the 8th grade special education year for the education teacher for the 26-27 school year. Thank you, it's unanimous. Number 8, to see what action the board would like to take in approving the superintendent's recommendation of Selena Sintron as the new pre-K teacher at Crescent Park School to a first-year probationary contract for the 2026-2027 school year.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Destiny.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you, Stephanie. I'll open the floor for discussion.
I can say how wonderful she is. My youngest had her, previous year. She was, the second teacher, and she was wonderful. I think that we couldn't get any luckier than to have her step up and fill this role. Yeah.
Thank you, Wendy.
It's a great thing. She was an ed tech in kindergarten previously, and she's been in this pre-K classroom, and she'll just be switching roles, but she's been in there, she's watched it and learned from it, she's worked with Gina. She's finishing her last class, her full certification. She's a Telstar grad, she's local, and is super excited for this opportunity. So it's a great thing.
Any other questions or discussion on this candidate? Seeing none, all of those in favor of approving the superintendent's recommendation of Selena Sintron as a pre-K teacher at Crescent Park for the 2026-2027 school year? Thank you. It's unanimous. When you are done looking at those packets, if you could please pass those forward, that will be reflected.
Yeah, I can.
Number 9, to see what action the board wishes to take in approving the second reading of policy IMJB, therapy dogs in schools, and the policy committee will have a recommendation.
Policy committee recommends approval.
Thank you, Stephanie. We do not need a second, where we have the recommendation from the policy committee, so I'll open the floor for discussion if there is any.
I know at the last meeting, everyone was happy I wasn't there to talk about it, so I went to the policy committee and they took some suggestions. So I don't have anything to say.
Aaron, I'll talk to you. There is something to the whole dog phobia thing. I learned, there was an event at my in-laws over the Memorial Day holiday. It was weird, actually. So I learned more about the whole thinking, so.
A lot of kids get attacked by dogs. I got dragged by one, still haven't. I'm scared. People.
Therapy people.
Most.
Any other questions or discussions on this policy? Seeing none, all those in favor of approving the second reading of policy IMJB, therapy dogs in schools? It's unanimous, thank you, motion passes. Number 10, to see what action the board wishes to take in approving the second reading of policy JICG, cell phones and other personal electronic devices in schools. And the policy committee will have a recommendation.
Yes, the policy committee recommends approval.
We do not need a second, so I'll open the floor for discussion. Andrew?
Is Meta like Kleenex? Is it sort of a little generic for glasses with camera and such?
Meta's the name for Facebook, so it's just like.
That's what I mean.
Okay,
It's
so
like
like
a
Google
Kleenex
Glasses.
where it
Yeah,
should
yeah,
be
yeah.
a tissue.
Right.
I see what you're
Meta
saying.
AI.
If somebody else might come out with
just-
glasses and
it's a little
it's
too-
not gonna
Oh,
find.
like
it.
too specific. I was
Yeah.
wondering if
It's,
it's like
yeah,
a
it's like
brand.
Meta
Yeah.
brand.
Right.
There's like 200 Chinese versions.
So any
Yeah,
AI
so AI glasses.
glasses, yeah,
There's a
that.
ton of different ones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably just AI
Really are, that's
glasses,
what
right?
I'm
Yeah.
Electronic glasses. And any other thing that will be invented in the near future.
Alright, we should have a folder for like anything
Leave
digital,
space.
because we're gonna have to revisit these.
Like, yeah,
like,
yeah,
annual
exactly.
It does say other personal electronic devices during the school day.
It does.
You did cover that, but he is right. Smart
Yeah,
smart
yeah.
glasses, and then the rest should be covered under that.
Smart AI glasses,
Smart-
that's
Yeah,
smart.
it's very presumptuous, but.
Well, that's okay. You can get earbud glasses, bone conductive sound glasses now, all sorts of things.
Yeah, see, they go, our earbuds, the kids get to wear those.
Nope, those are personal electronic devices.
It's all gonna change.
Any other discussion or questions on the proposed policy? Seeing none, all those in favor of approving the second reading of policy JICJ, cell phones and other personal electronic devices with the proposed changes, of changing Meta to smart?
Oh, sorry.
Thank you, it's unanimous.
And lockers have been, we're in the process of trying to order them. We put an order in, and then a couple of the distributors ran out, so looking at other options, but the process is being.
Number 11, to see what action the board wishes to take regarding approval of the SAD 44 school board meeting schedule for the 2026-2027 school year.
Make a motion?
Anything else, Mary?
Second.
Any discussion?
I was worrying about the late time for policy period because we don't usually stick to an hour. That is all. Like I don't know, I feel like it's often like 2 hours and then I'll be starving. Unless we're gonna like bring our lunch, but I don't know, that would be my only concern.
Supplying food.
How come it got moved later, Mark?
We've always started at 10.
It's on here at 11:30.
Oh, sorry, 11, because on that day, I'm at Region 9 in the morning.
Okay.
If we can go a different day of the week if you want. I moved them to Wednesdays because that's when all committee members could be there. But I have standing meetings on the first 2 Wednesdays of the month. In order to meet before the board meeting, we can either meet later on that first Wednesday, or find a different day. So,
Like snack is fine. No, I just didn't know if
Yeah,
it was
no, no.
on purpose.
Well, if we're kicking around, I mean, I'd just soon have it a little bit later, actually, that committee, so I can keep the morning open for skiing. That's how my life works, so. Just say that's my 2 cents, but.
Yeah, actually later works better for me too. It's
would
fine
1
for
o'clock be better to start? 2 o'clock?
me. 1? 12:30? I don't know.
Yeah, I'll have to pick up kids, so it's, we're gonna pick up time.
What if we did 12:30, because then we would have a little extra time and then we'd end pick-up-ish.
That's fine.
12:30,
12:30 to
so you
1:30.
wanna book 12:30 at 2 and just say, book that time, just so.
Yeah.
Does that work for you?
The more I get dates in the beginning of the calendar, then I work my schedule around it, so it is easier, yes, to know ahead of time.
June 14th is a holiday, Flag Day, I don't know if that matters.
Huh?
Not unless we get.
It's on my calendar.
The president had that program in, that's all. The 14th, it's his birthday too. Yeah. That's why your phone's all screwed. Trump.
I was just wondering, I know I had missed the first meeting of the year. I thought a few other people had missed the first meeting of the year last year because it's the last week of summer vacation. And so I think historically that's a fairly low attended board meeting. It doesn't need to change. I was just, it's the week that nobody has childcare, so I think people take advantage of that and are not around, because they're caring for children. So, I don't think it needs to change, but, if we look back at past agendas, it might have been, I know I was gone, Brian was gone. I think fairly low attended, which kind of sucks for the first meeting of the year. But I don't have strong feelings about it.
The following Monday would be the first workshop being open house night.
Too close to school.
And the first week of school, so that'd be, we could go earlier.
I don't know if we can do it the week before. I don't wanna mess up your hiring and that sort of, I don't think it's worth doing it for that, but.
I also wasn't here and that week.
Yeah, will you be here the week before? The week before, yes. Same with me.
I didn't know.
I'd like to not be here, but.
When's Labor Day this time? It's like not till the
The
7th, right?
The 7th.
What about the 31st? Wait, no,
We
because you said the 24th is open house, right?
We gotta do it before school
School
starts.
Yeah, we're
starts.
We
supposed
have
to
to
do
do
it
it
before
before
school
school
starts, yeah.
Is the 10th better then?
Wouldn't that be the 9th, I think?
Oh,
It's the 10th for the Monday prior.
Labor Day is the sixth.
I'm in 2027, I'm so sorry.
you're really getting ahead.
Yeah. I prefer the 10th, but, I don't want that to mess up the hiring.
It's easier to have everybody at the meeting, so.
Exactly, especially. Yeah. So we want to do the 10th, in general consensus?
Is that better for you?
Yes, I won't be here.
I haven't been told if I'm gonna be here or not.
He hadn't been told yet.
As far as everyone's aware at this point, you don't have a conflict for August 10th?
Sounds better to me.
I'm still working.
There might be a benefit to that also, because at policy committee, we talked about wanting to do some kind of public
Mhm.
thing related to phones, like a community something, so maybe we need to plan that, or,
Okay. We're gonna do a couple communications with families over summer, we talked about having open house when the families see the lockers and just preview and possibly doing another screening.
yeah, wellness committee had talked about doing a screening, then we talked about trying to do parent Q&A or something related to phones, if there was questions about the rollout.
Okay, I can make those 2 edits. Are there any others? I know it's hard to fit, I was trying to plan out, just it's easier to know.
No, it's better to have it early.
Ahead of time to know. Things may come up, may have been, at individual months as we go, but also trying to keep in mind that certain committees, policy has to meet so many weeks before the board meeting and keep everything aligned. But the first one in August is easiest, there's nothing that conflicts with as far as timelines.
Can I ask, Mark, I haven't seen the calendar, is there a board meeting on December 7th?
No, it's December 21st, we're gonna have eggnog.
Okay, I just,
Right.
I confirmed the 7th is Totap and Jazz's winter recital, and I know that's run into it in the past, so.
Also the date that
It wasn't in the calendar yet, so it's good to know.
I
That was a good
got,
historical
I
reference
asked
for
the
you.
other day, so.
It was slick.
I go by the building use calendar when I'm doing this.
December 7th, mark it down.
Any other questions, concerns, debates?
There's no conflict with like the band or something, wasn't that, didn't we change the last?
The dance recital.
Dance recital.
Oh, I thought, I don't know. Never mind, sorry, I'll go back to sleep.
I know that I have a conflict on the 16th, but I'm probably the only one, November. But I feel like missing one meeting is probably okay.
I'm assuming the 21st is not term vacation time.
We have school Monday, Tuesday that week.
Any other questions, discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of approving the SAB 44 school board meeting schedule for the 26-27 school year with the proposed edits? Thank you. Number 12, to see what action the board wishes to take regarding a workshop session around policy BBAB
Can you use me as the second one?
Got it.
Mine's out of here.
Yeah. Self-evaluating.
Sorry, something better than worked out.
So per our policy, BBAB's board self-evaluation, board members are required to do a self-evaluation annually. This is a piece of many that we're trying to lay the structure for and set, schedule essentially for years to come. You were all sent out a self-evaluation survey, which many of you completed, and I appreciate. And I figured we could use this time for, we do have some feedback from the surveys, if there was any, questions, concerns, discussion regarding the self-evaluations and information gleaned from it. Ultimately, the information that we take from this process provides direction for the board in constructing our goals at the beginning of the school year, and from there, the superintendent and administration will build their goals upon the goals that have been developed by the board.
I worked with Erin to help make the survey, and the indicators all came from things that are in our policies that say we're supposed to be doing them. So I'm sure when some people were like taking the survey, you were like, I've never done this before, there's no NA option, but like, we didn't put an NA option just because we're supposed to be doing it and trying to collect information of figuring out like, what are we doing really well in our governance, and then where are our gaps of things that we could be doing better as a board. So and then to make this report that you have, it was written by AI to try to keep it at least like as objective as possible. So we took the Excel sheet from we got 10 responses out of 15, which is at least the majority of the board, and then asked it to find the averages of all the indicators, but then also to pick out themes that people mentioned in their comments. And I don't know, it was pretty interesting, I thought.
Thank you, Beth. Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, true.
Next one's going to say.
No, but we should, I'm realizing. I jumped ahead a little because realistically there's a workshop session. We should do the motion second, if there's any discussion on going into the session. And then let's vote on going. All those in favor of entering into a workshop session around policy BBAB?
Already there.
Unanimous? Thank you. Proceed. Thank you. Wait a minute. No, absolutely. You're right.
I really appreciated the process, so thank you for those that worked on developing it. I think it'll be helpful to kind of refer back to this and use this as a framework. One of the things, I thought it also, like Beth mentioned, like some of it I was like, oh my God, what? And, which I think is good. I think that's, a really good practice for all of that. One of the things that got me thinking though was wondering like what are our, as a board's responsibilities to attend other committee meetings, because a lot of this is addressed within committee, but doesn't necessarily make it to the larger board. Is it supposed to make it to the larger board? Are we responsible to, tag along with Scott to every committee meeting? I mean, potentially that's the answer, to have these, especially around, I think there can be some definite improvement on the education committee in terms of reviewing the data and whatnot, but that work has started within education committee, but those that aren't in education committee would never really know that. So it just kind of made me, I don't have the answer, I don't know what the answer to that is, but it made me wonder like what our responsibilities for attending other committee meetings are essentially, mostly.
She had it first.
Thank you. I had a similar thought, and I had some ideas about sharing the minutes of those meetings. I think that would be helpful, and I think a more structured report at this meeting from the committees would also be helpful. I would love to attend every subcommittee, but I cannot do that. And so more information at this meeting and perhaps some discussion around what some of the subcommittees are working on, I think would be helpful, because I saw that also as a disconnect when I was filling out this.
To piggyback off that, I think it would be helpful for us to get in a habit of posting committee meetings, agenda beforehand too. So that way too, if it's something, like Brian, you really wanted to attend, you do.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be helpful if you got all of the agendas, sent to the whole board. If there's something that comes up that's of particular interest to people, then, they can.
Or at least like keep your finger on the pulse, so
Yeah.
to speak, to see what's going on at the committee level.
Or maybe like Meredith said, maybe the handouts, because like we get quite a few really interesting handouts at the education committee. So like maybe those handouts could be made available here at the following meeting or those sorts of things.
Right?
Echoing what they're saying, but slightly different, I also wrote that in mine as well, feedback. But I also put in, communication to the community is also an issue with those kind of things. They just make up what they don't know, so they fill in the gaps where we don't tell them what's going on. So I also put in possibly doing, something with communication, like a quarterly from the committee chairs that can go out to the community as a whole, that's a little more in-depth. I don't know how in-depth we want to get the board meetings where they're already pretty lengthy because we only meet once a month. But something that is, every so often that is a, we have a structure where we fill it out and we do a larger report as committee chairs or whoever the committee chairs are.
I'm gonna agree with you.
No.
But I had a similar thought of adding a section to the newsletter that you're doing
Yeah.
anyways, specific to the board. I thought the goals could go in there so that the community knew what our goals were, as well as some reports, to not make it a separate document, but that already has traction, so add something related to the board to that.
I support that. I think the more separate things that go out that can be combined, the better. I think when people receive too many things, they just don't look at it.
Can be like the Bethel Citizen, where all the little town ones get put in.
Exactly.
They don't do that anymore because we got fired.
I apologize, I don't get the Bethel Citizen.
Fired.
Yeah, kind of like here's what the education committee is up to
Right.
in the quarterly report, and like, we this month looked at X, Y, Z, and are working towards it.
I bet there's community members that don't even know we have something.
And or the short to the public too,
Right.
because we could add that at that point in time too.
Most of them don't even care.
At least we're sharing.
Would that
But
be?
there's a lot of communication available to the public that they don't take advantage of.
But there is a change happening. If you look at a lot of the volunteers that, at least I only see CPS the most, there's a lot more people wanting to be involved.
For
So
the
if we
fun
can
events.
For the fun events, but they're volunteering. But like, if you keep it up and keep the momentum, you might get that to spread. Like your PTA, has gone up a bunch of people coming, right? From a year or two ago.
Yeah, we have probably a dozen active members.
I think you had 4, like 2 years ago. So. Literally.
If we did something like that, what is the procedure on whether somebody, so if we're gonna tell the community about it, is that also inviting their thoughts to committee chairs, or is it just like, this is what we're doing? You know what I mean? Like, you don't wanna open it, I get it, but.
Well, I would argue that the policies actually say we should be opening it. Like it over and over in our policies says that we're supposed to be using like community feedback.
So would that be like go funnel back through the committee chairs and then up, or? Just curious if you
If you
put it out.
receive
Yeah,
feedback in regard to say we put out.
Like, so
I
say we
wonder
put it out on the
on our-
newsletter and said, this is what we're doing, and a parent was like, oh, hey, I got a great idea about that, because it's always gonna be positive.
It might be helpful to say like who the chair is on our little, you know, our
On the
email
roster on
chart
the
that
website.
says like what town we
Oh, yeah, yeah.
represent.
Yep.
Because like policy committee did get an email from a community member, and it came just to us, right? It didn't come to the whole board.
Correct.
One email.
One email.
But, I mean,
It's a start.
yeah, I
Don't
don't,
tell someone else, hey, I sent
I mean, I think it's a good point, like, we don't want,
I can update
Or
that
we have
in
to be a-
September after you lecture.
we have to think about it.
Yeah.
How do we get,
And then
how does it make sense? Because actually, one of the things on here too was like, community members know how to raise concerns, and I was like, I actually don't know
I don't think
that
that's
if people
clear.
do, like, do they ask the principal or the superintendent, depending on what, do they ask the board chair? Do they ask the committee? So that might be something that we also need to figure out how to communicate
And just have a directive on that newsletter, like, either they can email the whole committee, or just the committee chair, and the committee chair can push it out for discussion at committee level. But at least that way the community feels like they're being heard on stuff,
I would say,
if they choose to engage.
if we went that route, it would probably be important to have the one voice responding. So it would
Yes,
be
that's
on the
true.
committee chair to, be the one to respond, not that they wouldn't consult with the committee.
Sure.
And then it also probably should be treated on a case-by-case basis, because it may be receive correspondence, and you're like, actually, the most appropriate person for them to go to right now would be the athletic director, and you can point in that direction, or whatever it may be, or, so it kind of depends on the nature of the feedback, if that clarifies things at all.
Could that quarterly newsletter have the next 4 school board dates, meeting dates, and almost a suggestion or something to come and share your thoughts and concerns and whatever, and let them kind of know that they can? Because that may, there's not too many people even asking the questions on who they ask, which I think is the problem, more than not knowing who to ask, they just don't.
Can be a section, the board dates can be a section of.
I don't know, if we're gonna put in what the policies are up to and try to spark interest, that's really the place for them to come and talk to all of us if they want. Nobody does, it's sad, kind of.
A lot of opinions, but nobody comes to share them.
Just trying to find it better, I do think just the committee chairs, if they put out what they're working on, and then their name and their email right below what they wrote out, I think that's a good place to start. Because when you have too many voices and it's not funneled, it will get kind of out of control quick. And then they can share either with the whole board, which I think they should. And then also, we talked about the guidance, like definitely some guidance of what we can write back and what we can't.
Oh,
Because-
for sure.
Like, on what limit, just thank you for sharing your fefeedback, and we have board
Here's your
meetings, ...
script.
Like, I think that's important too, so we do not go too far down a rabbit hole if we get emails.
Oh, along those same lines, I know I can only speak for Crescent Park. I found this school year, Tanya's Sunday text messages with the dates to remember was like super helpful. I don't believe school board meetings were added to that. I don't know if that was purposefully in there, but, potentially adding those to that sort of thing. And then, I think obviously the district principals do a lot of the heavy lifting in terms of the parent communication. But, maybe at some point in a welcome letter saying like the school board would love to see you at one of their meetings, just letting people know that like we actually do want you to come in different communications, because, me posting on Facebook saying please come to the school board meeting isn't as effective as adding it to, the parent communication that's already coming home.
We can do that, that's on Skillshare too.
Sure. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that goes out, like, I recognize that, but it's good to filter it. Like, I think Tanya's Sunday thing did a great job at just like, it came while you were packing backpacks for Monday, which was nice, because it...
Hers was out 6 minutes before the middle school one.
We went very
Every
organized.
Sunday. Like clockwork.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yes, it's similar.
Yeah.
I think with committees, I agree with all of that, and the other thing I thought, even in the committee work, I would like to have like a set of committee goals or something in the beginning of the year to have, and then what you were saying about like sharing out at the meeting, like I would love to know what facilities does, or like do they have a goal that they're trying to plan for 5-year, 10-year capital, like whatever it is, might help us understand what we're all doing in committees too.
I feel like that's gonna be a common thread throughout all the evaluations, because it just helps us organize and helps us be better board members if we know things like that.
You need a metric to measure something by.
Exactly, and I think a lot of times we're found with our own. And in that same vein, maybe I don't know when in the year, but having also committee assessment kind of and goal making, like have that be maybe a first, doesn't have have to be a, you know, it can just be an informal chat amongst the committee, but it does help to sort of direct your thinking and process what you need or want done on committee level, and set goals there that we can share out to the full board.
A major check-in at the end of the year.
Yeah, and just committee goal setting.
I would just add that it's really important that it all ties back to the board's goals, because I am someone that makes too many goals, and then it.
So that's interesting.
Yeah, like, and confusing, and so
Yeah.
just tying it all back.
So maybe saying like each committee has to have a goal that's related to the board goal,
Yes.
as opposed to like
A
a
sub-
random goal.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, that's a
Right.
good.
It's like the board goals can
Yeah.
provide that directive.
And only having a couple, not having
Yes.
a laundry list.
In all honesty, like looking at, and I say this as the chair of the education committee, like looking at our lowest rated indicators, most of them I feel like do somewhat fall into that education committee, like purview. And, I put it in my evaluation, I like the education committee because I feel like I learn a lot, but you know, every other committee, I feel like an action item comes out of it afterwards, and we don't necessarily ever have an action item. And I'm not sure we can, because we're not the ones that are actually educating students. But it is interesting to me that a lot of our lowest rated indicators are, potentially within that purview.
I have some thoughts. Yeah, that I think like part of the problem is that ultimately like our, you know, where's the board of self-evaluation? It's like, we're accountable to the public for the education of children. And so I feel like a little bit, the whole board actually has to know some of the things that we talk about at education committee, at least around like student achievement. And so I almost feel like a little bit, figuring out what we're doing in education committee that actually should be being done on a full board level, and then maybe the reviewing of curriculum happens at the committee level, but the sharing of the data happens at the full board level, or thinking about like, what information are we seeing that would be useful for everybody to see? Just because it does come up like over and over again that, sometimes it doesn't seem like we have all of the information to be able to make the best decision.
I don't mean to cross-pollinate, but it also was coming up on the superintendent assessment, so I feel like it's a way for kind of you, for us to work together as a committee with you to set those like data collection and set goals accordingly. Like, I feel like that's one of the things that maybe gets reported out at the beginning of the year, like a state of the school with numbers, and so everybody knows, like, here's where we are compared to last year, testing, attendance, whatever the metrics are, but maybe that's something we start with, and then as an education committee, work together to collect all, I mean, it's already kind of happening anyway, we've kind of set that in motion at the education committee level anyway, but to just kind of feed that.
So you guys want to talk about that more before I switch gears? Perfect. This is like a cheerleader thing. I just want to say the number one thing that came up was how well we all work together and respect each other during it. And that's something to highlight. When I tell people I'm on a school board, like when I go down, like back home, like, ugh. I'm just like, no. Like, we argue, we don't get along sometimes, and then afterwards say, have a good night, see you in public. Like, we all talk to each other. That's a thing to celebrate, because not all boards act this way, especially with this many people, and being able to, like, not see eye, but get through things and not hold it to each other.
Down the road.
So,
They don't think about it,
it's something we should all be happy with.
If you don't mind me saying, I think Scott had a cousin that attended one of our policy committee meetings, so
a
Yeah.
former board member from Southern State.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah, and, the other meeting that he had attended prior to that was the one where we had voted on masking. And he echoed exactly what you were saying, where he said even as contentious as things could be, that he admired the way that we had worked together and respected each other and communicated as a board. So hearing that from an outside party too is a little, like you said, felt good.
You don't have to agree, but we all don't hold it against each other, which is nice.
Anything else that we want to discuss or bring up, or?
I would like to put everybody on the spot and put my PTA hat on for a second. And the final point that says we make time to go into the schools and what's happening, I would like to challenge the school board to all dedicate a certain amount of time to volunteer within the schools. I think we should lead by example. And I know a lot of everybody, a lot of people do it already, but, I just think that one of our constant community problems is volunteering, and I think that's an aspect where we can cross that section off right there that says we make time to go into the schools and see what's happening. We can do that by volunteering, and we can also lead by example for the community.
I would like to respond. I kind of have a little different take than Stephanie. If I'm invited to go, I try to go. But on the other hand, don't go where you're not asked either. I mean, I guess I feel like I don't know, I mean, you're more involved with schools than the kids and all that, so I guess.
I do have to say though, Scott, I appreciate that, I show up to the games and you're at the games. Like, I think that matters.
But I think people do fine. I mean, I guess I'm not sure, whatever, just, you have a challenge to volunteer, but I don't know, maybe.
I just think it's an
If
easy one to
I'm asked to volunteer, I'll help out if I can.
Yeah.
But
I just
I'm
think
not
it's
gonna
an easy one
go
to
force
cross
myself
off.
with somebody like, hey, here's my.
Now, you have a great voice to read to kids in the elementary schools.
No,
You're like the Grinch, that'd be a good
I
one.
have a lot of talents that don't get recognized.
We're signing Scott up for the duck tank next year.
Yes!
There you go.
Scott, we make so much money.
I don't like being a stage prop, you know that.
Scott, one thing.
If you ask, I'll do something else.
Well, one thing you'd asked for this year, and I did, but I will try to do at the beginning of each month, is to put out a calendar of all the school's events to the board, so you can see it. Because I know you like to go to.
Where it's appropriate. I mean, most of
You
the
like to
stuff's
go
not
to-
always appropriate.
You like to go to the different concerts and the assemblies, but just so people can at least see what's going on, then you can choose, but that's one of my tasks this summer, at the beginning of each month, to give you, I have all the different calendars, and I forget that sometimes, because I can see, I have 14 different Google calendars, but if you're not connected or don't have outside of one building, you'll be able to see all the different events going on. So that was one of the things on my task was to try and do at the beginning of each month for you guys as board members, just that you can see.
No, that was helpful. I mean,
Scope.
Scott and I went to a
Right.
STAR assembly.
Yeah,
for
that
and
kind of
then-
stuff.
And I went to graduation because I was curious. I mean, I do think it's helpful. The more you see, it gives a bigger picture of.
Correct, it's harder to
what's
know all the
happening.
different pieces, so, that's something I can do, seeing all the different components, so that you at least have the information.
It all starts tomorrow night at 6:30 at St. Joe's.
It does.
Right.
It does.
Be nice night.
Isn't it beautiful?
But there's a 10 game.
Mm-hmm.
We all have a softball game.
My son has baseball.
Baseball. Still have baseball.
Yeah.
It was Saturday.
No.
All right.
It's tomorrow.
That's
Yeah.
the finals,
So the regional finals and states would be on Saturday.
Saturday night is the
Will
final.
be the states, yeah. This Tuesday is the regional finals.
Where's that
This will be St. Joe's.
one? No, where's the final?
Girls would have been in Brewer,
The state game,
Yeah.
Julian said at St. Joe's as well.
back at St. Joe's.
Okay.
It
Yeah, so
alternates,
there's St. Joe's.
it alternates every other year, so.
If it's okay to pivot? I guess that's all. I haven't been a new board member for a minute, but, that might be an area to look at. Make sure that people aren't spending their first year fumbling and flailing and not knowing when it's appropriate for them to bring things up and how, and committee and stuff. So like the entry level, like, new board members, and just educating them and making them feel comfortable.
We don't have any issue.
I know, and it's been a minute since I have been, so, and I haven't been a new member under your administration either, but I do think, it's hard when you first jump on, because you feel like you're jumping onto a moving train and everybody seems to know how and when to talk and, when it's appropriate to bring things up and how, so.
Takes at least a year.
Yeah, and I think it will take time anyway, but, you know, maybe providing some, I'm just curious, what, you're probably the newest, Jared's not here, so.
Yeah, that's exact, I felt like I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, so I don't know how to make that easier, but some sort of transitional cheat sheet kind of something or other, I'm not sure.
Well, we can work it into when we establish our goals as a board too, we can make a point at that point in time, because it's usually it should be the first meeting, the August meeting, we can go over, you know, the board ethics, or the code of ethics rather, board norms, that sort of stuff,
Yeah.
and, you know, some of the sticky subjects too, like social media and such. And we do have the option of reaching out to MSBA and having Eric Waddell do, you know, board governance workshops as well too, so that's an option if you're interested in something like that.
You gotta list some acronyms, like, I still don't know what a RAP room stands for. I mean, I know what it is, it's like a homework, but like,
Respect,
What is-
accept, persevere,
Yeah,
it's the
and I-
3 pillars.
I never would
But
have.
yes, there's so many, and they change building.
I can
by
put, there's actually an inside school glossary for those who don't have one, so I will.
So put that in the new board member.
There are a lot of
Right,
acronyms,
exactly, yeah.
education lingo that is taken for granted that is thrown around a lot.
Especially if you're not a parent.
And then as soon as you're comfortable and you go to high school, it all changes.
And one I thought was interesting that I've heard from parents before too, which is, one that was about like, I don't even know where it is. We understand how students are assessed, and the standards-based grading, like, I think is still a struggle for like anyone starting kindergarten or whatever. It's like you know, parents still were educated in a different system, and then they come into this one. And then it also made me wonder how much of the board understands the current like grading system, and if that's something we should do a little workshop or professional development on.
Like numbers versus grades, you mean?
Yeah, just the how, I mean, I guess this is basically, we used it to, I mean, I purposely used the 4-point system to do this, because it's the same one we use with the students, but I was also like, just thinking, I know in policy committee, we had to look at the policy that's like the graduation requirements, but just as a board knowing like, what does it mean to be a Telstar graduate, and what do you need to know? Like, I feel like all the board members should be able to like answer that question if asked, if someone said to us like, what is a Telstar graduate? Like, what do they know? I feel like we should at least be able to like sort of answer that question, and maybe we can, I just don't.
Okay.
I don't remember really talking about it as a group.
So it'd be helpful. So, going over the graduation requirements, the portrait of a graduate that they use.
Or I guess I just mean more like even in the context of just our mission and our vision, like we're making a product, we're supporting you and the administrators in doing that. I mean, a clear vision of like what is our end goal for students, and all being able to articulate the work we're, you know, what that is and the work we're doing to reach that. And I think our lowest category total was second lowest was vision and strategic planning, and I feel like it kind of fits into that. And I guess the other thing for me, I think particularly because of the work we were doing in policy committee the last month, but recognizing that board also needs to have leadership within the board. Like, I feel like I've said feedback to you before this, but like, I wish you would tell us more what you think sometimes, or be more of a leader, but I feel like almost the same thing needs to be said back to us. Like, what's you know, where do we need to take leadership and do governance and make sure that we're making sure that the school is as best as it can be.
And under section 8, it says we regularly participate in professional development opportunities. What does that look like? What could that look like?
Definitely going to the thing in October. I mean, I've got it
Yes.
for all 3 years, so I would highly recommend everyone try to at least go for one of those days. I've learned more about this process and everything just by attending all those workshops for 2 days straight.
There's a lot of different workshops to
There's-
choose from,
yeah.
so you can pick points that,
There's
okay,
like
I'd like to learn more about this, I know.
5 a day
this.
that you get to participate in, and there's like 6 options per time slot that you get to choose from. Like, if you've never had time to like actually look at what's going on during those workshops ahead of time, I would highly recommend it. They have an app called Hooba, and it like literally tells you each like option that you can have during the different slots for the day. And I mean, they've got to have like 40 different workshops that are presented during those 2-day slots that you can choose from. So highly, highly recommend that.
And then on top of that.
But there's also like constant ones coming out. I mean, Scott attends them sometimes. that
It's
you
on the
can probably
individual,
with someone.
that's,
Yeah.
I mean, it's,
So I mean, I would say that that
sort of
goes
the
under the
self-
professional development opportunities, just all of us probably taking more opportunity that's available to us. I mean, we've upped it in the budget at this point that everyone can take more of those opportunities.
But maybe there's also a way, like, those, people have to be able to go, but maybe we could use the workshop opportunities to bring
Yeah.
people
Exactly,
here to do
in-house or
professional
whatever,
development, so
yeah.
everybody's,
Mhm.
has access to that as well, and maybe it comes from
Yeah, and
that,
I wouldn't
you know
even
what I
mind,
mean?
like,
Maybe-
after attending, like, you know, having a workshop opportunity or like this, where we could come back and talk about and what I've learned. I mean, I wouldn't even mind sharing.
Yeah, that'd be.
Well, perhaps an objective we could set for ourselves in developing board goals is that each board member attends at least one professional development opportunity throughout the year. Because there are a number that you can watch. I listened to the social media one where I was doing dishes earlier, or you can head all the way to Augusta and sit in person for the entire day. Like, there's a lot of different options out there too.
They also have
so-
the regional Zooms that are kind of helpful. I don't know,
Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
sometimes
I
sit
like
on those, I try to attend most of them actually. And those are interesting as far as just seeing like what people are doing around us, what they're talking about. They always start with like roses and thorns and like the good things that are happening in the district and the not so good things, and everyone goes around and shares. And it used to be by region, they would have us attend. Now they post, I think it's like 3 or 4 options, and you can just attend whichever one like fits you. But that's another good time to.
Just somebody who might have their finger on the pulse of what it's like to be a student, but I mean, it's different than when we were kids, you know, academically, AI, technology, just the things, different things that kids go through that we may not be aware of. I mean, that's the work we're doing, everything's supposed to be through that lens, so, maybe there's something in that realm.
But that might be back to student feedback.
Something love to see a student representative of our board. A lot of boards have that. You can have your opinion, I can have mine.
I'm completely opposed to that, so just in
Well,
case
you're one of 15.
in case it gets any traction, no.
Why?
There's a time and a place for a lot of things in life, and I think these boards are for adults. This is an adult operation, educating children, but to bring the kids in as board members and that.
Not bringing them as board members, just bringing them in to have conversations.
I don't know, I mean, we get plenty of feedback from the superintendent. But anyway.
I
You know,
don't think
some-
she's talking about like a second grader, I think she's talking more of like
Well,
high school.
so my reaction was based, I think SAT 17 has a couple of they're non-voting board members, but they sit there, I think that's, no, I don't think that's, no, we're doing fine here. The adults are doing fine here. It's, so, you can laugh, we get plenty of feedback, you got parents here, you got, I think the teachers do a good job, the administrators do a good job having their sense of what's going on, so
I think you in particular could learn a thing or two from a high school
I
student.
learn every day. I learn things
Generation
every day.
Scott, so.
We used to have them.
Yeah, and those are all people that, you know, hope to be doing certain things on behalf of students, but it's not necessarily doing.
Maybe we could
What
look
it's like
at
to be the
doing
student.
something like with Lindsay's PR class and all rotating Like there's a high school, they just come during public comment session, but you just kind of make a report every other month, and you rotate that way. At least start there, as a way to have their voice being heard. There's somebody on student council or somebody willing to come in and talk from their perspective of things. That might be a way to start someplace and go forward. Okay.
Anything else that would be shared? Any questions at this time? This is not the end of the conversation by any means. This will be extremely helpful in the evaluation of the superintendent and furthermore the establishment of our goals at the beginning of the school year.
I thought it was a good instrument. I thought the whole thing was done well, and I actually saved for the next one we're gonna do with the superintendent. I thought they're good. It was good.
Would it be useful to do something like we did, this was Google, the board goals last time was a Google Doc, right? Because I see your note at the top that was like, if you add anything, add it in a different color. Would it be useful to do a document like that about this? Like I see both of you taking notes and I took notes, but like, just a way to put them all together and get it all in one place?
And then still have the option to add to it, add
Yeah,
feedback
yeah,
to
or
it,
just like,
get like a working document.
I mean, 5 people didn't even take the thing yet, and so if people are listening and are like, I'm not really sure what everyone's talking about, like, it's still, I mean, it's not gonna disappear.
Right.
The link is still there too, so.
And for those of you who haven't had the opportunity to complete it too, I can share that back out, but please do, because there's not, it's valuable information regardless, and it can still be used, when our rules and such.
Do you want me to start that this week and just put it out to everybody, people can have?
Sure, yeah, either way, or I'm happy to start too. I know I'll just lose this piece of paper if I don't put it somewhere, so I.
I don't know where they are, it's just a stack.
Oh, yeah, it's true. I do have a stack of paper, but.
Okay, I will start to share it this week.
Well, thank you very much, everyone, that was helpful feedback, and provided us with a lot of direction moving forward. If we're okay with that, I'll conclude the workshop at this point in time. Move on to agenda item number 13. To see what action the board wishes to take regarding entering into an executive session for a periodic review on the goals of the superintendent of schools pursuant to MRSA 4056A. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Stephanie. And a second. Any discussion on going into executive session? Seeing none, all those in favor of entering into an executive session to discuss the goals